Hey everyone, welcome back to Obscurus Lupa Presents. It's Witchcraft 2, The Temptress. I'm not going to put a damper on the rest of the series because it is truly hilarious, but if you want to know what my favorite entry in the franchise is, it's this one. There's a lot of things that contribute to that, but the main reason is the star, Charles Solomon Jr. This guy is awesome. He's a bit of a jack of all trades in that he acts, directs, writes, scuba dives, and knows martial arts, at least according to his resume. Oh, and did I mention that he's a professional race car driver? He totally is. I've never met the man, but I am certain that he's a badass. But let's take a trip back to 1990, 2 years after the first Witchcraft movie came out. Charles was not the race car driving, scuba diving martial artist he is today, but he was nevertheless still awesome, and the greatest actor to play William in the series. He went on to play him in 2 more of the films, and if any of you argue that he was not the greatest William, I'll fight you on this. He plays not the baby William, but the grown-up William, a mere boy of 18. Seeing as how he was nearly 30 at the time, he was the perfect age for the part. The series hasn't quite turned into the boob fest it will eventually become, so I'm just giving you a heads up to enjoy the story while you can. Since William is 18 now, my math skills place this film in about the year 2006. Yep, just regular old 2006 with our Madonnas and scrunchies and Monkey Islands. Delia Shepard as the Temptress? The character had a name, you know, that's just the subtitle of the movie. That'd be like crediting Charles Solomon as the main character. Rockin' soundtrack this 2006. Oh, what the hell, Mary Shelley's back? Yeah, I know, the actress's name is Mary Shelley, that's pretty much all I gotta say on that. But what the hell, seriously? She melted! How is she back now? Oh, sorry, now she's turned into the Temptress. Not necessary. This is Delia Shepard, a penthouse model from Denmark, who will be our antagonist this evening. Right off the bat, you're going to notice that she's a terrible actress, but outside of that, she has a doctorate in holistic medicine. She is also master of 18 weapons of the Shaolin Temple. Not that you know any of this from her role here, since the vibe I get from the character is, what's the word? Stupid. Anyway, William is trying to have sex with his girlfriend Michelle. Damn it, Michelle! But she isn't having any of it. How is a boy of mere 18 to get laid around here?
You know, after all this time, most girls wouldn't call it pushy.
Well, not most girls.
Ah, opting for the angry air guitar response, eh? I suppose this is enough to convince her to finally have sex with him, but unbeknownst to them, there's trouble afoot. The MGM lion is watching them. Tender, unzipping frustration? But new hot mom's gotta ruin the fun with the doorbell. What a cockblock. It turns out that Elizabeth has taken over the body of William's neighbor Dolores.
Is there something I can do for you?
Actually, I was just wondering, have you seen my cat?
Acting! Always try to make out with someone when asking about your missing cat. She leaves, and William finds a box left for him.
The curse of death on all but thee. Eternal life your destiny. Yeah, sure.
That's your only reaction to that, huh? Must get a lot of curse of death notes. Smells legit. William assumes the note was left by their friend Boomer as another one of his practical jokes. Yeah, my friends always leave smelly boxes covered in burlap with death notes attached to them. Those jokesters. William has now been adopted by the Adams, who have come home from, I don't know, probably a Metallica concert. It's great being the perfect parents. Come, dear, we have many shoulder sweaters to buy. So wait, why is William adopted now? What happened to Grace?
Grace killed your father.
And Elizabeth. And then herself.
So many questions. First of all, Grace didn't kill John. That was Mute McButler. Secondly, why the hell did Grace commit suicide? She won! There was no reason to. All things considered, it was a fairly happy ending for her. She didn't seem particularly suicidal. I guess you could theorize that Elizabeth resurrected herself and killed her since she's still around, but then that brings me back to the question of how she unmelted herself. And if she was able to unmelt herself, why wasn't John? How do you keep a witch melted anyway? How many witches must a man melt down before you call him a man? Anyway, William is asleep when the burlap curse box calls to him. Aw, the archive footage is all cut off where the screen ended. Huh, the box must be on its period. Blood is really foamy in it. William opens up the box to find a magical piece of junk inside. More on that later. The next day, he tells his parents about his strange dream.
It was like somebody getting burned at the stake. All this stuff.
And there were things and other stuff. And something to do with stuff and things.
Blood was dripping out of a woman's mouth. It's weird.
Oh well, bananas and stuff. His parents know more than they're letting on and ask to see what he found in the box. He goes to show them, but it's magically disappeared. Like the mythical 3D Doritos.
You've always been such a good kid, Will.
I'm not a kid anymore, Dad. I'm a man now.
Yes, a man of 18 in this, the year 2006.
Can't believe you.
Do curse her lack of peripheral vision. Oh, good point. I can see why she needed to do that. Whatever it was she did. Whoop, damn you, invisible rock! This is when we meet Boomer, that lovable Twinkie-eating scamp. He's played by the David Home.
Let's order some pizza. A little extra sauce, huh?
Phantasmagoria and a Witchcraft sequel? He's achieved what many lesser actors could not.
There's more to life than sex.
I feel like I've just witnessed the meeting of two titans. William wants to find out more about his magical ashtray, so he seeks out the help of his geeky friend Audrey. Wait, how did he get the ashtray back? Didn't it disappear like 2 scenes ago?
And to what do we owe this auspicious occasion?
I do read occasionally. You know,
Good one. Why is Audrey so angry about him coming to a library anyway? She afraid he's going to contaminate the books, or what? Anyway, she tells William she'll translate what the ashtray says if he'll get Boomer to take her to the medieval Italian tomb sculpture exhibit. Oh, those wacky nerds and their tomb sculptures. I think this film needs more teen comedy. Can we fit in Ryan Reynolds and some pot jokes? Looking hot, Mom! In case you didn't get it from the Temptress part of the title, the whole point of this movie is the new Elizabeth trying to get into William's pants. Let me repeat that. Elizabeth is trying to have sex with William, who is the reincarnation of her son. Even if the reincarnation thing doesn't count, she's still biologically his grandmother. New body or not, that's creepy as fuck. See that? That's his mother's ass in his face. It's not like the writers forgot about this either. Elizabeth being his mother is a major plot point. What is it with the Churchills and mother-son relationships? If they were just going to put her into a new body anyway, why didn't they just make it a new character? In fact, it would have made more sense that way since they never explain how Elizabeth came back from the dead. It's not like continuity is a huge issue for them, and they could have easily made her a new witch considering the plot developments later. It doesn't come off like something that's intentionally creepy, it just comes off like they didn't make the connection that the new chick is still his mom. What the shit, yo?
I gotta go.
Whoa, man, it's hard being an 18-year-old boy in this, the year 2006. You want to know why I really love Charles Solomon Jr.? This is why I love Charles Solomon Jr. Hulk smash! He has the greatest Hulk yell ever, and this isn't an isolated incident. It's like his version of the Reb Brown scream. It's hilarious every time. I guess we can assume Michelle and Boomer having sex was a dream sequence, though they never actually say that. William finds out from Audrey that she found a translation for his ashtray in an old book on witchcraft. She says she found a lot of weird things that she'll show him after work. Coincidentally, she's a day away from retirement. New hot mom is slinking around the house and rambling about William fulfilling his destiny. His sexy, incestuous destiny. Adoptive mom stabs her, but she got over the whole death by stabbing thing. Somehow. Wow, I sincerely hope that was supposed to be a magical hand wave and not an actual hit there, because goodness gracious. Also, she stabs old new mom to death. Oh, I guess we can't have any more Ferris Bueller teen comedy hijinks. Maybe we can get some Weekend at Bernie's instead. The neighbor just came over to borrow some sugar, but mom's asleep and wearing sunglasses. Ho ho, pot and dog poop, am I right? Anyway, William's dad tries to comfort him over Audrey's death. This movie is no masterpiece by any means, but I do buy the relationship between William and his father. He explains that he wasn't actually adopted, but they took him from a coven of witches that were raising him to fulfill his destiny of becoming the supreme warlock. He tells William about his real parents, and that he and William's adoptive mother were part of the coven as well, but fell in love with him as a baby. Now they only practice good magic. He suspects that one of his other parents is after them, but he isn't sure which one. I can see how conflicted the character is about his actions, and how worried he is about William's destiny, which is pretty good for a direct-to-video Witchcraft sequel. Of course, his character and the mother, who's already dead, are completely wasted, but it was a good effort. New hot mom shows up and gets rid of the dad with a spell, leaving her free to seduce William alone. And how does one seduce a 30-year-old virgin?
Let's order pizza.
With pizza and rock and roll music. I knew it. This is really cool, Mrs. Jones. You know, sometimes I feel like nobody understands me, but then I listen to some Kiss and I'm like, whoa, I totally don't need society. They're about to have some incredibly incestuous sex when William realizes she wants to share more than pizza with him. The candles, the music, the sexy dress? What's going on here?
You can't run away from your destiny.
Acting! William goes to Michelle's father, who happens to be a priest, to ask him about the nature of good and evil, if people really have a choice. This is sort of a conflict for William throughout the series, and by sort of, I mean they just forget about it after a while. It seems like they don't really use this point to its full potential, and they had 13 movies to do it. While this is going on, Michelle is attacked by a demonic force. William goes to check out her room and finds another package inside. Aw, golf tee, sweet! He goes downstairs again to find him and Michelle both have the mark of the devil on them. Mommy, I've got the mark of the devil! No retreat, no surrender. He returns home where new hot mom has taken on the form of old new mom. Ew, do they really have to have both mothers hit on him? She explains more about William's heritage and basically summarizes the first movie, with the added bonus of Grace's suicide at the end. It's still baffling to me.
Then I am from the devil. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? Stop it!
You cut out that merriment right now, Mom! William realizes his mom is acting oddly into him, which can only mean one thing. She's actually his other mother who wants to bone him. After a scuffle with his dad, it's time for the big reveal. Let's make it as unintentionally hilarious as possible.
That's right. I killed that old whore.
I love you, Charles Solomon Jr. That was an awful reaction to that punch, by the way. She may be the master of 18 weapons, but she is no master of fight choreography. Do like I do and just get punched for real.
Don't you love it? The evil!
Yes, yes, Solomon smash! If he ends this movie driving a race car through the front of the house while casting spells, I will die a happy woman.
Tomorrow night, you will.
As opposed to tonight, because I don't know. Also, William totally just killed his dad. Wait, what? That wimpy throw killed him? How? Is his skull made of styrofoam? William's reaction to the news is pretty fantastic, though. Anytime you've got to rev up for a yell, you know you're in for some intense shit. I'm putting that up there with the Hidden 2 guy in my list of hilariously overdrawn reactions. not quite as high as the silver bullet dad, though. Who is she seducing here, the cameraman? William's seriously conflicted about being tempted to the side of evil, and that, coupled with the fact that he kinda just killed his dad, has led him to attempt suicide. Before he can follow through, Michelle stops him. Damn it, Michelle!
Where's your mom and dad?
They're dead. I killed them.
You only killed one of them, William, let's be fair. Remember, new hot mom was like, I killed your mom, and you were like, roar, and you punched her and stuff? Michelle gives him a pep talk about everyone having a choice between good and evil. After all, no one is born evil. You are who you are because of the choices you make.
Half of you is pure and good. Your mother's half.
Or, you know, good and evil are genetic. I'm half human on my mother's side, jelly baby?
You really don't know what you're talking about, do you?
And come on, if Grace being an innocent means that William's half good or whatever, then why would the evil witches use her as the vessel for their supreme warlock? That doesn't make any sense. And while I'm at it, what does Elizabeth boning her son have to do with making him their evil leader?
Hang on to your life, Will. Don't make hers wasted, too.
Unless they say otherwise, she committed suicide after winning. I don't really see that as a life not wasted. The next day, Michelle's father comes over and gets ready for a holy war. This includes blessing the sink water and nailing crosses to the door, which is totally badass, but William's being a negative Nancy.
What good's that gonna do?
To keep her out of the house.
I thought that was vampires.
I think it's witches, too.
Stupid! He goes back to the house to get some more crosses, but evil is always watching. Oh, that's just awful. They didn't even add sound effects. Why did you even bother, movie? So, is he dead? Oh, he's so fired. Time for some crazy antics from Boomer.
This is a really stupid joke.
Hey, Boomer, this is no joke. I really think you should go.
You're kidding.
No.
Okay.
So, didn't have a long enough runtime, huh? They find another piece of junk in a box, and the objects come together to form a goblet full of delicious strawberry Kool-Aid. But what about Sharkleberry Finn? I know you have it in your country, but how does that help me, buddy? Two things happen here. One, a tumbleweed randomly appears in the house for no reason. Two, William finds out that he's allergic to bad 80s music videos. It's hard to take your villain seriously when she's dancing around in a Dracula cape to a totally rockin' 80s soundtrack. In this, the year 2006. Look at this, she's basically going, does this bug you? I'm not touching you!
He will sire the next leader. His father was a great warlock, and now his son will fuck me. And our child will rule the world. No!
Wait, so now William's son will be the leader of the warlocks? Then what was the point of this whole conflict? And how does this match up with Elizabeth's motivation in the first movie? Well, why try to make sense now, I guess? Will William be tempted to the side of Madonna and incest? Or will he hold out for more holy sex with the priest's daughter? How will he explain his dead parents to the police? Will they ever get rid of that tumbleweed? Will Boomer rise from the grave and finally get laid?
Why stop forsaking me?
Well, that was confusing. I think she's dead now? It's hard to say since she came back from melting and all. What are we doing? So William has chosen the side of good, but since both of them have lost their parents, William having lost 3, it's not really that happy of an ending. Also, not joking, they stand there for at least 30 seconds while the credits roll. It looks like they're confused that they aren't in freeze frame yet. Witchcraft 2, The Blondening! Come on, I already told you that this was my favorite entry in the series. It's not as silly as some of the later entries, but maybe that's what I liked about it. The actors were still good enough that I was invested in the story, which made the silly moments even sillier. The new Elizabeth was a pretty bad actress though, and all of her scenes were deliciously overdone. The incestuous overtones were also incredibly ishy, and the storyline was a little muddled. Charles Solomon was great, and his Hulk-Yell will always be my favorite thing about the series. Give it a look to see if you want to give the other sequels a try. Charles Solomon will return in Witchcraft 3, The Lawyering.
Who are you, Billy boy?
I don't think you want to know.